Hello, Frugal Force. Once again, Captain Frugal reporting for duty. And today I'm going to review the game Condemned: Criminal Origins for the Xbox 360. Now, this was launched, I think, in 2005. Just as a side note, in Japan it was Condemned Psychocrime, and in Europe and Australia it was called just Condemned. So, interesting. Overall, it had a moderate to good reviews when it was released, but people did tend to really praise it for its gameplay. It's a first-person shooter type of game, and so it's played from that perspective. Well, it does have cutscenes in it, which have some that are quite eerie and neat. But the key here is it's not your traditional first-person shooter. You do have guns, but you have very few guns with much ammo in it. So you're not going to be doing much shooting, and to be honest, the firearms won't last long. The ammo will go out quick. So most of the game, you're using melee attacks. You're going to be using things like axes, pipes, big pipes, small pipes, boards, signs, boards with, like bolts in them, electrical conduits. You will also have a taser, which is an absolute essential weapon in combat through most of the game. Use that taser. But with that said, too, you have to learn how to block. You can't just run in this game and be stupid and start swinging like a madman. If you do that, you will find yourself pummeled quickly to a fast demise. Now, I do love this game's atmosphere. It's dark all the way through, and it has an eerie type of feeling to it all the way through. This game is set in a fictional area they call City of Metro, is what it was. And you play the protagonist, Ethan Thomas, which is a crime scene investigating agent with the FBI serial crime unit. Well, he ends up getting framed by a serial killer, which they call Serial Killer X. But then he also alludes to some other things in the game as well as it develops. And I don't want to give all that away, but there's something special about the protagonist. Now, the good things I really liked about it is I love the dark atmosphere. I love the different kind of gameplay with the melee. It was really a big difference from a lot of third-person games, especially at that time. And granted, since then, we've had some other first-person melee games, but I think this was quite the trendsetter. It might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it was. And I still actually think it holds up and probably does better than a lot of the mechanics for first-person melee ones that I've played in the past. For example, Dead Island 1 and 2. Both pretty interesting for first-person hack and slash, but this had more of a brutal feeling to it, and graphically it was really dark, and I loved how the AI interacted when you hit them with things. It just had a very dark, gritty feeling to it. Now, I will say this is definitely has some pros and cons. The pros, as I really like the police element and things like that. The cons, I felt, is I didn't like the cult kind of thing it went into with the supernatural a little bit. I think I would have actually liked it more if it just stayed a straight up police versus whack job kind of game. But overall it was good. Throughout the game, to make it last longer too, there's certain things you can collect. Also, there's elements where you have to use certain things to break through certain doors and things like that to progress in the game, which kept it interesting. I only found myself one time finding it a little lagging, and otherwise, the rest of the time, the game kept me gripped constantly and entertained. Now, with that said, too, this is not a game I would play with a little Frugal or have a little Frugal in the room. It's very brutal. It's very violent. It is not a game that's good and suitable for having kids in a room. So definitely it's one to play when the kids are asleep if you have them. And it's even better if you have the lights off and it's nice and dark and spooky. Overall, I really did enjoy this game. I would recommend buying it if you can find it for $10 or under. I truly liked it. If I was to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a solid B. I could have dealt with, as I said, a little bit less of the occult kind of thing, but I really found it entertaining in some of those corners, wondering if something was going to come out at me. And things like that. It also added another element too with forensics, which slowed the game down a little bit, where you had to use like the camera to take pictures and things, which added to the story, and I liked it for that point, but I did find it slowed the gameplay down a little bit. Overall, I really enjoyed it. So if you have this game, let me know in the comments. What did you think about it? Do you like that? Did you buy the second game? I have it. I haven't played it yet. Would you recommend it? And if you are a fan of this game, what other games would you recommend that are very similar to it? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you want to help support me and Little Frugal on our channel, please go to our VidMe channel. Just type in Captain Frugal, you'll find me, and you can subscribe for as little as $1 a month. Or you can even just give a one-time tip. If you want to see more videos like this on games as well as comics and other commentary and things, check us out at thehenchmenslounge.com. Once again, that's thehenchmenslounge.com. And until next time, keep it frugal.
Carl! Come on, Mr. Torturer. Don't you want to know what it feels like? We're not even half done.